Let me bring you one. Very interesting series.
What'd you say?
One multi-part series on, he has a HaMenorah and then I think Lubavitch something.
A vision said Rebbe that's coming from a Lubavitcher line?
No, that was sent to Lubavitch or something.
A vision to who?
The visions or a different series.
That what?
Because they had somebody sent me a video of them singing HaMenorah Low. It was the Lubavitch way of singing HaMenorah.
Oh, yeah?
That's not so weird. A lot of about
Yaakov, come sit here.
yes, you know, if our science originally did a tradition, you know that?
What?
Yitzhak Lubavitch, Yitzhak, not the lyric, but the melody. It was on visions that was.
The Visionets?
It was on visions that was sent away, sent to Chabad, and there's a lot of Lubavitch in the Gunim that.
Oh, the guy that's now the main vision at Rebbe.
All right.
Yeah, the visits to Rebbe from Bnei Brak. Everybody was thinking about the whole business in Bnei Brak by the candle lighting. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They were singing Ani Eftach Bach?
Yeah. I have it in the video.
When, this year?
Yeah, this year.
Very nice,
He
very
was
nice.
celebrating Rabashkin's release. He was celebrating Rabashkin's release.
Uh-huh.
Whose release?
Rabashkin.
Oh, Rabashkin.
No, they also had the fifth anniversary. Fifth anniversary, they also had. They also.
Wow.
They also sing it.
Oh, the guys.
No, they're also singing.
Wow, it's quite a performer. He's got.
Yeah, he's the Rebbe. No, they're also singing at the armory. The Satmars are singing Vanya Takbach
Wow.
and Haval Kritzah. This is the season before they were Katie Cranberry. That's a thank you. That's it, yeah. With the old shepherd and HaMenorah? It's third. I will. Third time looking. Oh, man. What I can't have you. I think they just.
Whoa. No. Thank you so much. Maybe later.
I think
It looks so good.
Well,
Where'd you get this?
what is the moisture?
By Moshe? Okay. Yeah, very good.
From Ireland? No.
Bechavod.
No, thank you. I just ate before I came. I benched.
So did I,
Yeah.
Good.
but I didn't have dessert.
I was thinking about him. I got this. It's good. It's good to try.
There's nothing like a Carembo.
I know you like it. I was thinking about you. I got it. What's a shack or a mizunot?
That's the way we got right now.
The shack or a mizunot?
No, this is the cookie in the box. That's the way
Yeah, the
we got
cookie.
right
But
now.
we're starting with this. We're not start with the cookie.
That's the way we got right now.
So I'm like, Baruch atah Adonai, Ham Borim and mizunot. Amen.
What page are we on?
Let's do on page Memches. Maybe we're skipping about 2-3 pages. Maybe we'll get back to it. Page Memches. No, no, it's fine. Doesn't matter how much I paid for it.
More.
Page Memches Moach. Ken. Moach. What an incredible ride we've had with this Reshimos HaMenorah. Everything in the base of Mikdash, I mean, was very specific and very detailed, like we see the Alter Rebbe says in the end of Tanya, all the way at the end, and then the David HaMelech was praising the Torah. He called it Midas because David HaMelech said in Torah, if you have a little detail in the mitzvah of lighting a candle in the menorah, or how you do kmitza, a little detail, and you do it right, and all the olamas are elevated, not only this world, but all the worlds are elevated, and one detail he does wrong, or one machshava that he does wrong at one of the avodas, and everything is pulled down from all the olamas. Every mitzvah that in the Beis Hamikdash was done and affected the entire world. David HaMelech said, wow, that the Torah is so awesome that even a small detail, a little, how you do the kmitza, or how you light the candles, and this, and which is first, and which is second, and what's going here, what's going there. That makes such a big difference. All the worlds are elevated if it's done the right way. Done the wrong way, they're all dragged down. We are holding at page Moach, and in the bottom, the letter is Lamed Beis, Lev. On the same page, you have Moach Velev. And it's good. On the top is the Moach, and on the bottom is the Lev. The way it's supposed to be. The Moach is on the top, and it controls the Lev that's on the bottom. All the commentaries ask about Hanukkah. They say the Hanukkah was such an awesome thing. They were the strong ones, and the Jews were weak. They were many. They were a superpower. The Greek influence in the world at that time was stronger than America. America's influence over the world. They had no rivals. Didn't have China or Russia rivaling them. They were a superpower, and they had the upper hand in Israel. They were a mighty army. And the Maccabees was yet a few among the Jews, not a few in the world, a few among the Jews. And I mentioned Shabbos, that our sages tell us a story in the Medrash about Yehudis and Halifornos, right? And there was a siege over a city in Yehuda, one of the cities, and the daughter of the leader in the city from the Maccabees, Uziyahu, came to the general Halifornis, and she said she was dressed up really nice, and as if she came to seduce him, and she brought with her wine and cheese, and she did like Yael Eisha Sakeni.
Who was it? It was Uziel?
I think his name was Uziyahu. I think the general that was the Jewish one, and she was the daughter. He was like the leader of the city.
They have a song where even Uziel.
No, but that right.
Is that
That's
him?
no. Piamenta had a really wild song. That was good. Vayachaskem. What's the last two words?
ויבן מגדלים במדבר, ויחצוב בורות רבים.
Oh,
A lot of boros.
Yeah, that was anyway. I mentioned Shabbos that we went to see my friend Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
And He wrote the document of independence. So his inspiration, right next to his bed, was a picture of Yehudis with the head of Halifornis. That was his inspiration. Fighting back against. He felt like America were the few and the weak against when he told King George.
Feminists say all women should serve men. The head on with the paid head on the
So there was an inspiration. So these guys, they knew stories. They knew from the Tanakh. They knew this was a big inspiration to Thomas Jefferson, the story of Yehudis. No commentaries say, don't understand. There was such an unbelievable victory. That the strong ones lost and the many lost, and who were victorious, a handful of Maccabees who were not strong. Why don't we celebrate that? True, afterwards they came to the Beis HaMikdash, and the oils were defiled, it was tummy. By the way, what kind of tumah was it? Friedrich Rebbe says in the Maimer, what kind of tumah was it? They think they went with a mouse and they touched all the... What kind of tumah are we talking about? He says that at that time they already made a tumah on the goyim, that the goyim have the tumah zov. Any goy is, they made a takona that the goy is like the tumah of a zov. They touched the oil, so they became tummy. And they found one jug of oil that was b'chois mishal kohen gadol, and they lit for 8 nights. That's a big miracle. But what's with the military victory? How come there's no celebration for that? The Taz answers that in order to understand this, you have to understand the difference between Hitler and Lenin. You have to understand the difference of Hitler and Lenin. When King Pavel got a bullet to his head, which was actually a Bolshevik who was a Jew, it was mayhem all over Eastern Europe and Russia. Hundreds of thousands of Jews were killed. Every group that wanted to become in charge of Russia, first thing they did, they went and they killed Jews. That was the first thing. Then we'll deal later. The first thing is kill Jews.
And make the mitzvah
Yeah. The only people that didn't kill the Jews were the Bolsheviks, the communists. They didn't bother the Jews. They were very nice to the Jews. They were only people that didn't kill Jews. They were the only people that didn't kill Jews. But as soon as they became the government, they decided they want to crush all the religion. They don't want to be religious. So, and for whatever reason, they decided that Judaism was the first thing they needed to crush. So, unfortunately, a lot of Jews, they didn't, what are they going to do? They're not going to have what to eat. They're not going to have where to live. It was dangerous. So they cowered. They can't blame them. There came the Lubavitcher Rebbe, previous Lubavitcher Rebbe, and he called, it was a symbolic thing, he called 9 Hasidim for a special meeting. And he made a vow that they're all going to fight to the last drop of blood. They're all going to fight to the last drop of blood. In the family, we have one of my great-grandfathers who was killed actually by the Soviets. He was a moyel and he was very active in yeshiva. He was one of the 9 that made the covenant. That was called the Covenant of the 10. Thousands of Lubavitcher Chassidim suffered from this, and all religious Jews. There was no such thing. If you're a religious Jew and you did bris milah, because they didn't want you should do bris milah and they didn't want you to keep Shabbos. Mamash, like the Greeks. Mamash like Antiochus. Antiochus didn't come in and say right away that he wants to kill the Jews. First, he thought the Jews will change. They'll stop doing bris milah, they'll stop keeping Shabbos, and they'll stop keeping Rosh Chodesh, and they'll stop keeping a Jewish calendar. And when the small group of Maccabees stood up, that's when he saw that the Jews are. So then he decided to try to crush them.
There
and
were
kill
5 Maccabees, right?
Yeah, it was a few. It was very few, and a few followers, but it was not So it was an unbelievable miracle. But what's the foundation of the whole struggle? It was a spiritual struggle. Foundation of the whole struggle was a spiritual struggle. But on Purim, Haman and Hitler were different type of people. Haman wanted to kill every Jew. He didn't care the Reform, the Orthodox, didn't care if they go with a streimel or with a hat. They didn't care if they're going with a gartel or without a gartel. Hitler didn't care. A person could be assimilated already for 3 generations. If he found out the Jews, he wanted to exterminate them. Didn't care. He didn't care Ashkenaz Jews, Sephardi Jews, any Jews he can get his hands on, he wanted to exterminate them. Rahman al-Islam. Therefore, on Purim, where the struggle, the enemy, yeah, you hear what I'm saying? The enemy, Hitler, wanted to kill the Jewish body. So when the Jews have a victory, so we celebrate by having Hamantaschen and making l'chaim and having a little liquor and wine. But Hanukkah was a different type of struggle. Hanukkah was a different struggle. The struggle was a spiritual struggle. It was a spiritual struggle. The struggle are going to be Lashkicham Torasecho Lavina Mechuke Retzenecho. He wanted that the Jews should forget the Torah, the Eibishter's Torah, the Eibishter's mitzvahs, and there was a spiritual struggle. So even when the Jews didn't follow them, they got very Shalom Aleichem, welcome back. They got very nasty to the Jews and very oppressive towards the Jews. But in this, therefore, we celebrate it with a spiritual celebration, with the candles and the menorah. It's a different type of celebration. It's a spiritual celebration. That's why that's the debate. The 2 predators that we have for the Jewish people is Hanukkah and Purim. There's Haman and Hitler on the one hand, and then there is Antiochus and Lenin and Stalin on the other hand. Very right. They're very different type of predators, but they're different. Today, unfortunately, the big predator is Hanukkah. We don't see Baruch Hashem. There's a lot of enemies we have. The biggest pressing issue today, is unfortunately that there's a lot of Yidden that are disconnected.
There's somebody on my floor. He was clearly a Jewish person. His name is Yitzhak, and he doesn't wear yarmulke. I know he's Jewish because he's got a name. I mean, what non-Jew has got a name Yitzhak? And he doesn't do anything. No mezuzah. I think he may have married a non-Jewish woman, and doesn't have any part of Judaism now.
Mm-hmm.
So
You have to stop.
Yeah, I should.
It's your mission.
Yeah.
Amen. Okay. That's the difference of Hanukkah and Purim, and that's the predator that we're celebrating today, the victory. Is every Jew has a pach echad shel shemen, chotzim, become gadol. Every Jew has that power in him that's not defiled, and that's what we have to find, and we have to purify ourselves and purify all the Jews around us. Okay, let's continue here. On the top of the page is Moyach, and on the bottom of the page is Leiv. Page Mem Ches, Ois Lamed Beis. Yeah, Atazai. The Moyach is on the top, and the Atazai. Exactly. Moyach Shalat Ala Leiv. Show me you're good. Vihine. Kol HaNisker Lihil, Oli B'Derebi Dama D'Neres HaMenorah Menachos Mizrach HaMayrev. Okay, let's go back. This is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. This is the curtain in front of the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Say this is the menorah. Here is the Mizbeach. There is the Shulchan. Here is Mizrach HaRazeisim, the sun rises. Here is Ma'ariv. Here is the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Here is the menorah. Till now, we were talking about the opinion that the menorah is like this. Now let's talk about the opinion the menorah is like this.
The Rama will be according to this opinion in the center.
Yeah. All now, I'll leave it there. I'm nearest menorah. I'm nearest menorah menachas mizrach hamayrev. Avalar. But also, Bishim damat from dar menachas. According to the philosophy of Reb Shimon, that said that the Menorah was Tzafon Doran, Neir Maravi, Neir Tzoi. Gedus of Menachas, the Gemara says Menachas. Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon, the Tzadlo with Tzadudi. Loyal Tzafon with Adam Manachah, I feel like Elachat Klape Meir, Bein Tzoi. Shipia Psila Klape Meir, Vishar Psilis Mitzadam Pin Klape Tzoi is Tanya Mul Pnei Menorah Tzoi. I'm in Al Gufish Menorah, Yidu Shibas Aneis Malava Choy Mitzad Pnei Klape Neir Tzoi. So, according to Reb Elazar, Reb Shimon, the way it worked is Mul Pnei Menorah. Remember, we spoke about Pnei Menorah. The middle branch is the Pnei Menorah. The middle branch had one wick that was going towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim, but the three to the right and the three to the left were tilting towards the middle one. The three from the right were going like this, the three from the left are going like this, and the middle wick.
That's called Elfnei.
Let's hold up Pnei. Okay. The Dilavaya said that Adlokas and Neres Ladeyesu. How did it work to say that Adloka? In the Tzarech Birur, we have to first clarify from which side does it start. If the menorah is here is Dorim. The menorah is always close to Dorim. The Shulchan was always close to Tzofan. Here is the Mizbeach HaKetoris. Okay. So if the menorah is here, is the Mizbeach. There's three branches going like this, three branches going like this. Which candle do you start with? The one that's most towards Tzofan, or the ones that most towards Dorim? The middle one? I mean, how does it work?
When he walked in straight, the menorah is to his right or to his left?
This is the shaila is how he walked in, and this is what we'll talk about in a second. Here is the Lamazang, the gate.
So
It opens up. He walks in, say, in the middle.
So now the right side is closer to him. So
Right.
oh,
Okay, very good. Kvar Kosovo was hayayvetz b'siduri. Shetolo was be'ezet tzad ba'koyin ameite v'sanedis.
what do you mean by this side? We know it's only one way.
That's he's 1 second. So let him say a few words. No, you're right. But because the Gemara says the mashchere money. And a person could say the doors to go into the Heichel were very big. Maybe he goes in over here and he walks by the wall.
And
Like-
right?
Yeah, and turn in here. But the Gemara said, when the Gemara talks about when the Kohen Gadol goes to Kodesh HaKadoshim and the Kohen goes in to do the Gemara asks, how's he go? There's many shittas, a complicated sugya in the Gemara in Yuma. But one of the lines the Gemara says over there that he can't walk. He can't walk by the Dorim wall. Why? Because the menorah is always burning in the Dorim side. And because it's burning, smoke goes on the wall. The Kohen's begodah must be immaculate. It's white. White. It's not only weiss azukin, also weiss. It's white. And it has to be snow white. It can't be dirty. If he's here, the menorah, the last branch is a chved, and you have to look at the Gemara, the Cheshvan, it's about an amma from the wall. So if he's going to squeeze in over here and he touches with his back or his shoulder a little bit on the wall, he got dirty. He got black smudged on him. And we don't want that. We want his begodim to be snow white and clean.
You must go into the right.
Oh, so he has to go in from the center.
To the center.
Okay. Oh,
No, but
so then once he goes to the center is what you said. So he's going in like this. Oh. Because of the Yavitz Besidurish, Dolbas of Esat Bakar and Amatif and Neres, given the Bana Manoid of Akos Ladrami, Yev Shalokain Layla, the Mashkinimone, Boda Mashkinim, Oshnam and Shakos Kadis, begin Yuma, Akoch, Sarakakan Laymak, Memes Behapnimi, Amanoida. Vim came by Voila Manoida, Mekivanam is Bayach, Matsapon Manoida. Mener Tzvoni, Pogaberesho, Baymaska. That's what he's saying, a simple thing. Why, Davy? Voidevi, Hayavitz Shamrai, the Pogamener Tzvanet Childo, Bevoya Koyin, Leichel Zorech Leilach Limine, Kopina Shata Point Loy, El Derechimin, you're always supposed to turn to your right. God the Yuma, the Mishum Ze, the Kol Apinis Loy, El Derechimin, Bachol Yoim, and Koinim Elam Mizrochi Shal Kavish.
When you go up the Mizbeach, supposed to make a right. You don't go to the left.
Because he comes in from this way, the Koyin. And here's the Mizbeach.
Right.
Mizbeach is huge. The Kevesh goes from the Dorim. Remember, here's the Dorim. So when he goes here, he turns right. He turns right, and he starts walking on the right side of the Kevesh. He walks on the right side of the Kevesh. Kevesh bedorim. Say this is the Kevesh. This is the Kevesh. This is the Mizrach of the Kevesh. Here is towards the Ma'ariv. And he walks, because he turns, he's to turn to his right. Sharei HaKevesh b'don. L'kach olam mizrach shel Kevesh samach lipanas lamina. V'din dan chukain nanichnas leich l'mizrach l'ma'arach mahalach derech yamin hoylach u'letzad sofen. U'b'meila poga b'tchil b'nei tzvayni. That's the other argument he makes. So he's saying that that for two reasons, you can't say that the Kohen is walking in from the door this way. First of all, because the Gemara says you're not supposed to walk next to this wall because you get smudged up with black soot. Second of all, you're supposed to walk to Yamin, more towards Yamin, not to Smile. If he's walking from Mizrach to Ma'ariv, here is a smile. Towards Dorim is a smile. He's has to walk to the Yamin. So he's walking in more towards his Yamin. He hits first the branch that's mostly towards Sof. Just to help out, we'll just take it this
So according to this, the light in the right side is walking to the Yamin.
Things to talk about. There. Yes. Yeah? No, but that Menorah is in the middle of burning. I don't want to bother it. Here.
Well, it's already 1.5 hour.
Yeah.
Everyone's there. 50 minutes.
Okay.
David is okay.
You see? If he be walking in, he's again, this is Mizrach, this is Ma'ariv. If he's walking in towards the left, so then he would be walking from the door like this. He would hit this first. But since we say he's not supposed to walk here, this is Dorim, and there's a dirty wall, it could be dirty. And he'll get smudged up. Second of all, he's also supposed to walk towards his right. So he's walking like this way. He's walking to the center more towards the right. He comes here. The Mizbeach is here, okay? He goes around this way or this way. And then which part of the Menorah does he hit first? This one. So he has to start right over here. Here's where he starts.
What do you do? You start or mate it first?
Mate it.
Mate.
Or light, whatever. This is already another thing. V'yesh lo'ir al zeh, v'lach'oire, im etam kol pinas, derech yamin, yahalach limina, v'im kein, yaschil ha'atzava, mitzad ha'tzvayni, harei yetev ha'neiris mitzad ha'ladar, and the hainem yamin l'smoil. So l'ch'oire, if he's going to be doing hatova this way, what's happening? His right hand is here, his left hand is here, right? So he's going from right to left. He's going from right to left. Okay? Umetam kol pinas lo yel derech yamin, tzrich lizadlok mismoil yamin. Why? Kemuva betur shulchan Hilchos Chanukah kesematof reishayim. There's many shittas, very complicated. I'm leaving it blinada maybe, and we're going to touch on it next year of Chanukah time. There's a lot of opinions how you're supposed to do the Menorah.
Which one you like first?
Which one do you light first, and which one do you put? The Mechanike, it says in the Shulchan Aruch. That's what the Mechaber says, and that's what Chabad we do, and that's what I think Sfardim do. Okay. Yaschil lahadlik b'leil ishim b'neir Yosef Yemoni. B'leil beis k'she Yosef neir echad samachloi. Yaschil v'levorech al ha'noisef shehu Yosef smoli k'dei leifonas liyamin. V'chein b'leil shlishi yaschil b'noisef v'achach yivchen al tzad yamin. Finishes off in Shulchan Aruch, he says, because anyway, the new candle is always that's showing you on the miracle, because there's more light. So you always, so say this is your Menorah, you're standing here like this. Here is your right, here is your left. So when the first night, you fill this up with oil. You light this, it's one, there's no question. Second night, you put oil here and here. Which one do you start?
Second.
You start here. Why? Because this is your left. What does it mean you're supposed to turn to the right? You go on the left and you turn from the left to the right. The Gemara cup is always the other way around. You understand? When you say you have to turn to the right, it means you have to go to the left.
It's almost like the parking stand in New York City.
That does it.
Yeah, but everybody now lighting this way.
Okay. And the Taz disagrees. Look in the bottom.
Translate like the wood.
Kol pinas shata poina lo yapoina.
להדליק בין הראשון של ימין, יש בני אחת,
וכמו בתושך נורך חנן, כסים אותו הפרש עין בוב, יצח להדק בני ראשון בני יויס ימיני, ולא בס כשיויס בני רחת סומך לו, יצח לברך לנויס וכשיויס שמאלי, כדי ליפונס לימין, וכן בגלל שלישי יצח בנויס, ואחר כך יפנו לצד ימין, כולו.
So this is what Hillel said.
So, Hillel Sham is 1, 2, 3,
But we're going according to Hillel.
Yeah. This is with Hillel. Yeah, let's not confuse ourselves. Yeah, this is with Hillel. Confusing enough. This is very confusing. And so let's stick to Hillel.
in Yerushalayim, but the Koisel, they have the building of a nice HaMenorah, and like the 5th or 6th candles, they call the president, Netanyahu, to come to life.
Wow.
So make the bar, it's everything okay, holding the candle. What is he willing to do? The right one. The road to the Koisel go like this. No, left one.
That was Ruvain.
Right, the left, no.
That was Ruvain Rivlin.
No, but also the president, also no.
Yeah.
He puts his hand to the left hand.
Yeah, but that's gewusst. And I'm on it.
No, right to left.
But you should know that the Taz holds that way. So that if Netanyahu was a Chacham, he would say, I'll go like the Taz.
He doesn't know what Taz
Taz, Chabad, Avram. If he was a Chacham, he'd say, no, I knew second Taz. The Taz says, he says, what does it mean when you write in Hebrew? You write from right to left. In English, you write from left to right. Was Hakstamaginic, says the Taz. If you go on a crossroads and you have to decide, you go to the right or to the left. You're supposed to go to the right. We do like the Shulchan Aruch. So when we do a menorah, we start on the left and we're going towards the right. That's what I mentioned Shabbos morning, that I think that this is also the whole confusion that we have by Lechadoidi. What do we do by Lechadoidi? What is supposed to be pointed Yamin? So one way of saying is, this is what the Rebbe did. Am I turning left? Yeah, I'm turning left. But where am I going?
You're right.
I'm turning left and I'm going to my right. Some people say, no, I mean, you have to turn to your right. Here's your right.
Yeah, but you pointed the small.
It's not
what you do, it's what's the
It's
fact.
unbelievable.
It's not what you do, what the fact.
Yeah.
That's
Where are you going? Where are you going?
That's what I say in the parking lot, in the park in New York City. It's not what it says, it's what you do.
Exactly.
You can't win over there.
So you have to turn to the right. So this is the way we pass, and this is the way we do. So l'choyre fragt der Rebbe, M'shenkin amal l'chosati b'derech ha'smoil, v'yas chalatov b'menel ha'droimi, v'elech midonim l'tzofen. You hear what I'm saying? Azay kaim ha'tova kol pinas limin, v'reimutav l'kaim kol pinas limin b'ha'tova, masher ba'alicha l'ha'tova. Who cares how he walks? The main thing is how you're doing the menorah. And since you're supposed to do, and you're always supposed to walk towards right, so if you started the menorah this way, there'd be like in Hanukkah what we do. You're going towards the right. You started at the left and you're going to the right.
And he's not Ma'avir la mitzvah.
Because that's where you're starting. So why? So the kasha, the kasha. The Yavit says you start here. That would go with the Taz, but we pass like the Magen Avraham. So you should start from here. You can't believe it. The teretz is going to be so good. Yesh loimar the balavachi gam shukam apni elimim melachas yaschlatav b'neret tzvoni yosef shapek. Brilliant answer that Rebbe gives. Koyin ha'meitiv av k'shabo memizrach. Any meitiv ha'menorah b'amd b'mizrach ha'menorah laholach b'sav ha'em b'marim. The given the p nerem tzoy poinen lamaydav Tzorach Yom HaKohen l'saba v'lama b'mayra v'menorah
Yeah,
k'dosh
but
l'eter
where is the
v'kodesh.
steps? The steps is not in the other side of the menorah.
It is. It is. He's going to be chadish that. You're going to consider the Yair Shekos eventually from the menorah b'mayra is actually pirish mekoyre. Unbelievable, brilliant
So
teretz.
the step wasn't on the other side.
The steps is on that side.
So for sure he's going around. So he's going
He
around.
says why. He says, think about it. The Rebbe says.
So when
It's a
he's-
brilliant.
When he's
The menorah is like this. The menorah is like this. We said that the menorah that we have, the wicks, the 3 wicks are going like this. The menorahs are going like this. Now, this middle wick is going towards, if he's standing in here and he's to put his hand, 1 wick is going to the right and 1 is to, he's going to get, his jacket is going to be on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Before you know it, he's going into the lion's den. 1 is to the right, 1, and he's putting his hand in because here the wick has to go that way. Before you know it, his hand is going to be on fire. So what are you sending the kohen to put his every day to burn his hand? It's impossible. At the Rebbe says takazoi. He doesn't know what's the mocker, but the Yavit says that the steps, if the menorah was here, the steps were not here.
the other side.
The steps were here. So he has to go when he gets here. It doesn't matter how he walks. He walks here.
Make a U-turn, but
He has to make a U-turn here, and he has to stand like this.
So his back is to the
His back is the kosher sapella. It's like a pella. His back is, but that's the din. His back has to be to the kodesh kadoshim.
I never see a picture with the steps on the other side.
He also see a lot of funny things in the pictures because they're madatzim, the people. Like I told you, I have a book in my house with the avodah beis hamikdash for children, and the menorah they light every night.
And night.
So night, yeah, every night. By night. Never mind that Amma holds it's also every morning, but no one holds that avodah beis hamikdash by night. Either they
So what
did
the
it.
print, I did not know.
I skim the cameratzah. Something here showing. So the steps were right here.
Then
So
everything-
now
everything
that
makes
he's
sense.
standing here, so
This is
now
This is
he's going from his left to his right. He's going takazoi, like the Magen Avraham. Maybe the Taz is going to say that the steps are really here, but we go like the Magen Avraham. So everything is like. So if you say taka like the Yavitz, that the steps were here, and it's Mistaba says that if the steps were here, he's going to burn his hand every day. So he has to walk around, climb on the 3 steps. So now his left hand is here, his right hand is here. So if he starts here, he's going from the left to the right. Kol pina shata poina. You're always going from left to right. That's it.
So it's also not only how the menorah stand, also with the steps with the menorah.
Yeah.
So it is a little different adapter.
So that's what the Rebbe is answering. Again, here's exactly what the menorah is standing. The kohen comes in, walks a little around the mizbeach. He gets here. He doesn't get up on a ladder here. He burn his hand. You must say he comes around, like the Yavitz says. The Yavitz is right, says the Rebbe. The steps were here. So he's standing over here with his back to Kodesh HaKadoshim. His left hand is here. His right hand is here. He's starting from his left. He's going toward the right. So it works out. A good question, a simple answer. Huh?
He's riding with the right hand.
If he's a righty. If he's a lefty, he's probably out of business because that's a move anyway.
And his back is to the Kodesh Kadoshim.
Yep.
Make no sense.
It's a little shver. I hear. And the Rebbe doesn't even address, say like Tzorachiyun, like Sapella, but that's what the Rebbe learns. Yeah.
I didn't know he was not in the back.
Right, that's what I was.
When I was in high school, they told me that you should back up from the place that was 4 out, like 4 feet, 4 hours, whatever. Didn't walk away, you'd be backwards. How close was he?
Pretty close.
So how can he stand with his back?
Because that was Tzorech Avoid. That's a different thing. When you're walking away, when he walked away, he also turned around and he walked like that. But now he's doing the Avoid.
Backwards?
Yeah, backwards. But still, right now, when he has to light the menorah, he has to do, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do.
How much distance is between the menorah and the shulchan?
If you, there's 40, the inside of the, what's it called? I think 60 amas or 40 amas.
So
Aaron, how much was the inside of the heichel from wall to wall? clear space, not the pishpishim. Was 40 amma or 60 amma? In the Heichel.
Have to look in Yuma.
The Roicha.
Talking about not including the.
From Doran to Safon. No, from Doran to Safon.
Not, wait a minute, including, from Durham to Safon, 40, I believe.
40.
And
So it's 40 amma.
The menorah take
Menorah was not so big. How many amma were Menorah?
4 feet, 4 feet.
Four amma.
And the wall is another feet, so it's 8. So
No, we're not talking about. We're talking clear space was 40 amma.
Right, so I'm saying.
And
the
there was
menorah-
maybe
the menorah-
it was like two ammas from the wall, 2.5 ammas, one half, 2 ammas from the wall, and but it was all within the half that was closer to the Kodesh HaKadoshim. He was not that far from the Kodesh HaKadoshim. It's takapella that his back should be. It's not the big look when he put the. Let me ask you
No,
like
but
this: when he put the
is centered to the room, so it's not mamash to
no, it's the Kodesh HaKadoshim because the Kodesh HaKadoshim was the whole here. The whole no, his back is the Kodesh HaKadoshim, no question. Maybe not.
It's not off center. It's not like
Right.
to the left.
Maybe it's not. It's not towards the door. Or the
Right,
second
but
window.
I'm saying it's not mamash center.
Okay,
it's off,
but-
it's more
But
to the left.
still, right behind the Kodesh.
Like the whole wall.
But also the Mizbeach, think about it. The Mizbeach, they would have to put the blood on all 4 corners of the Mizbeach, right? So obviously he went around. So at 2 of the Kronos, his back was to the Kodesh HaKadoshim,
Yes.
Right.
100%.
There's no other way to stand.
Unless he's standing on his head and his
No,
feet's in
like
the air. I
stand
don't
on
know.
the side and do it from the side.
Because when he's doing his avoid, he's doing his avoid. That's not a shaila. When he's doing his avoid, he's doing his avoid. That's what the Eibishter wants him to do. He's doing an avoid.
He's going to Kodesh HaKadoshim, but this is avoid. You're not
Right.
allowed to, but now he's allowed to.
If,
So-
let me ask you, for example, a question like a melech boss of Adon, when he's serving tea, hot tea, he's bringing a food, and now he has to serve the king and the queen and the chveis, the prince and the princess. He's standing in front of the king. So, but in order to have control, you really have to look. No, he'll walk backwards with. He said, "Miss Michigana, now you have hot tea. Just walk like a
Do
man.
your job.
When you finish your job, you're going out of the room.
Then you go back.
Then you go backwards. But when you're middle of doing your avoida, this is your avoida. Don't tell me you don't want to show me your back. Do what you need to do. Do it good. Okay.
When you light the menorah, Kohen,
Yeah.
any Jew can watch it?
It's a via pella. They would have to be on a drone, maybe. They're not allowed to go into the hechel because no only kohenim could go from the mizbeach hachitzim inwards. The kohenim only went, and even the kohenim, if you were not invited to do the avodah, you were not there. We spoke about that the hechel has windows very high up. Could be if someone lives in a high building on the 30th floor in Yerushalayim in the upper
You
city.
could see the light, not the menorah.
Maybe I don't
No,
know.
because the
It's
window
hard.
made the
Yeah,
window made in a way that the light go outside, not
Right.
inside.
Right.
So,
right.
so you could see there's a light, but you can't
Right.
see inside.
So then you couldn't see. Right. Okay, let's continue. The Yun Gam can be seen the Yavish cost the Evan Shul Hamanera Marava is actually Pirish Makoide. Him King Shmalach Lemin Achi is Sav Hamanera Yamal Marava Viet Akach Mitzav Hadam is Kaim Kolpinus Lemin Hem Beluchem Hamad Lokas and Neres. To be on the Mamara Hamanera Parm Lemizer Hered Lokem Mitzav Hadam is Malimin. When nearly the Ish Shlois of Raya Raya say Yavitz when it's funny pocket Bereshi. The said B'yom Kippurim a libed Avashol Yilmad Sosam Daina said the Kolashon began libed Rabbonim and Amafurish. You say the Yom Kippur a libed Avashol. Right. We say every morning the avoid the way it's not Avashol. Hine avoid the Yom Kippurim b'Chaim God. Kol avoid the Yom Kippurim Shem Alaboy and the Kohen God. And that's a Gemara Yom Alamed Beis Amid Beis. Afnoon Aleph we're holding now. Uladas Avashol Latovas Neiris Bo Achad Dishon. We say it every morning. Every morning in davening, you say, Dishum Mizbeach Apnimi Koidemes La'Tovas Chamas Neidish Liktoides, right? That's no first. The first is Dishum Mizbeach Apnimi Koidemes La'Tovas Chamas Neidish because Chamas Neidish is first, and then is the Shtei Neidish, and then. And Chomish Neiris, Kedemes, Le, Toiris, Evarim. Okay. Vihine. Dishim Mizbeach HaPnimi eine Be'efen shemoitze Adesh and Teikef Lachutz. Elo shemanichim beteni, Eitzel Mizbeach HaPnimi ad la'acher gemar Tovas HaNeiris Kedisa b'Meseches Tomit Tzaf
You
Perigim.
shouldn't walk 2 times back and forth, inside, outside.
Right.
To save,
Right.
Do the job and then decide.
V'im came,
Second job,
yeah,
go back.
and then on the way back you take it. V'im came, b'yom HaKippurim shekol avodas nasa b'Kohen Gadol kshegomer Kohen Gadol Dishim Mizbeach HaPnimi v'emed al yad ateni sheitzel HaMizbeach nimtzayim mit eitzel neira tzvania asomach l'Mizbeach HaPnimi yoysim asher neiris a beit tzarech la'aschem. Simple. Eves Cheshvan is like this.
When do you finish the job?
The Shulchan is here, the Menorah is here. The Mizbeach is right over here in the center. They're not overlapping. Nothing is overlapping. The Shulchan is here. The Menorah is here. Right, like a segel. Here is the Mizbeach. He's supposed to clean up the Mizbeach, put the deshin in a tenny. Tenny is like a little bucket. Put the bucket on the floor and then walk to the Menorah. From here to here, there's only one way to walk. Doesn't matter from which corner you are. There's only one way to get from here to here, and that's this way. Unless you have a helicopter. Just to walk this way. So if you're walking this way, you're going to hit the Nera Tzvani first. So what happened on Yom Kippur, we know. The Befedish in the Mishnah. And Yilmad Hasosim and Amashfurish. So we don't know what happened the rest of the year. Why would you say that the rest of the year was different? Yilmad Hasosim and Amashfurish. If in Yom Kippur it's clear that he went from here to here, so it had to be in a way that he did this first. So say the rest of the year is the same thing. Why not? You don't know any otherwise. Then he goes into a little bit of a discussion. Dishim is be'echapnimi b'yom kippurim kosher b'kohen hedit. V'agam mitzvah b'kohen gadol leka. You noise kli hayad. The hilchas avodas yom kippurim perek alav halacha be'eh. Hashitus b'zev shem nizmoeh. That are those that say that mamish the avodah yom kippur min ha'toyre the kohen gadol must do. The regular avodas like korban tamid and ketoyres. It's good if he does it. A mitzvah, but whatever. He's not going to go to jail if he doesn't do it.
But the regular Kohanim,
The regular Kohen. Oh, and they're going to make a girdle. That's why he brings out of 153 that a lot of the piyutim that were written by Geonim that we say in Yom Kippur in the Musaf that they had in the tefillah that they made girdolos on Yom Kippur. Girdolos on Yom Kippur. What's the raffle between who? The Kohen Gadol and his Kohen Gadol?
Only Kohen Gadol.
Only Kohen Gadol. Elamai, because the Geonim held that the Kohen Gadol has to do all the avodah that's unique for Yom Kippur. And maybe even he has to do the Korban Tamid and the Ketores V'chulu. But anything which is like Dishun, which is, it's not an avodah, it's Machshirei avodah. Dishun means to clean up. Hatovas HaNeir is to clean up.
Another Kohen would do it.
Another Kohen would do it, even on Yom Kippur. And fakert, there's a svara you could say, Chulsha the Kohen Gadol is doing a lot this day. He's shechting 15. He's shechting 15 cows and sheep and goats, and he's doing this. Right, he's going to mikveh, and he's going
change clothes.
So he's tired. The whole day, let him sleep all night.
He has to have to throw the al-azazel.
No, that's he sends someone. That's fine, but still, he's doing a lot of stuff. So maybe yeah, all the Kohanim did it. That's what they say. It's funny. בכל זו, גם לדעת שדישם מזבח עבדים הקושם כהן הדי וגם מצווה בכהן גודל לקה, אם רוצה כהן גודל מדעשן, הרי אין לעשות מחלוקת על כל כך בלמד דמה שהם מצווה בכהן גודל אף כל כמיני מדעשן מזבח כמה הם רצו בכהן חולשה. It's not mistabit to say, even those opinion, the rule of thumb was if the Kohen Gadol wants, he can do whatever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. If he walks into the Beis HaMikdash, says today I want to do the Ketores, he does it. I want to do Talmud. He does whatever he wants. He could take any avodah
During the year?
Even during the year. So obviously Yom Kippur is the same thing. So what happens if the Kohen Gadol says, which is not so out of the ballpark that there should be such a Kohen Gadol, say, listen, you guys work all year.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. Papi's doing it today. Sure. He's allowed to, right? And if he said that, so the Mishnah says that he does the Mizbeach HaPnimi, takes the tenny, he puts it on the floor, takes the bucket, and then he walks over. So what he would be doing Vim king shroitz kan gadol madashim is beach apnimi. Had ebedish begmar adish nimtsa im de etzel ner atzvayni. Und bei maskal tavas ner, ve kivishim kipel ab sholom und furish maskal tav ner atzvayni. Yom gam asosum shgam bkhalashon ve gam le derabon maskal tav ner atzvayni.
Makes more sense that if Yom Kippur is there, for sure.
Yeah. HaMenorah meko anal. Lamando matzof und der manoch im maskal heute ner ayes atzvayni. Meitav hein ner ve gam ner atzvayni. Shlomanzo ner maravi. Chlolom. And so he starts with the Ner Atzvayni, and he does 5 candles this way. The mate of Ner Marav B'Knisa. Just like we learn in the Rambam, according to the other opinion, that we always have a little bit of an agenda to try to do Ner Maravi first. So over here we'll do the first 5, and obviously the Ner Marav is going to be one of them. So every day, according to his opinion, he'll do first this 5, and the second round he'll do these 2. Simple. Yeah, they have base natives b'knisa base. Yechilum b'chol oifim meitev ner maravi yamtzoi b'tav rishon dein natives yosef ben hey natives yitz tzvayne shem bog bereshe. Mela achiluk the matzah base natives kvuin and delkem kvuin the mishnah the tamid. The Sherak.
This is the most.
This is the most important, right?
No, this is the closest to him. He walked the step. This is the. Now he's upon of it.
I'm not sure. Could be those steps were.
It's right in the center.
No, again, from the pictures that you see, I'm not sure. Could be. I suspect very strongly that those steps went. Again, not like the picture. Yeah. As I've been a choshid, I'm very strong choshid this way.
He walking on the steps to the.
I have a very strong chad.
Like a long.
Yeah.
No, but we know the measurement from the steps. It says in the Rambam.
No. It doesn't say measurement for the step. He says a measurement for the base of the menorah. He doesn't say measurement for the step.
Okay, the step is longer than the base. Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay. Again, there's so many things that they make in the pictures.
Doesn't mean that that's the way.
Because think about it. It was made out of a rock, of a heavy rock. So what do you think? It had like little wheels in the bottom. He just scooted over to the right and to the left.
Like a little
like a little thing with a button. You had a remote control. So Elamai, he stood in the side. It doesn't sound like this. It probably, I would say that the rock with the had a few steps. Yeah, went.
It makes sense.
That's what I think. Yeah. The Kimim Choloif made the Venera Maravim say but over Shina. The Yosef ben his neighbors says it's Spanish and Pagabareshim. A male Achiluk the Motza base neighbors Dolkem McQueen the Mishnah the Talmud Shrakim base neighbors Mizrach Mandam Mizrach Moram Dolkem. Made the Venera Maravim Knisa Aleph. Havalim Kvar Kovu Nitchasatavas Nera Maravim Knisa base. The time who Shimon Neighbors say the Pagabet Chil of Emots and Shukov Pagalam Din there Shukov Semitiv. Many later near Amarav Biknis Aleph Mukhrich Khosek and 7 days canal in Sheikh Lamanda Matzaf and Dar Monach and Pogam near it's funny with Khila im came Khol upon and Bain in Motza base near the Dolkin Fu ye and near Amarav so Bain hey and near Shemete Biknis Aleph. He's saying like simple that we always say what we said already that we always say Emavir and Alamitzvahs. What's the reason why we have a bias according to this opinion? That's why is it that sometimes we end up passing these 2 and we do these 5? Because we have a bias. This is the candle that's Lifnei Hashem according to this opinion, and this is the most Mekudesh and the most Todir. So we have a bias that we want to do this one first. So if these 2 are not bothering you, they're burning, they're not screaming at you, so Mavirin ala mitzvahs. Ignore them and do these 5 first. So we have a bias. That's why, but usually we don't want to be Mavirin ala mitzvahs. Only here, we never want to be Mavirin ala mitzvahs. Never ever. But only in this case, these are not bothering you, and we want to, like the Tosfos who says that when he walks out of the Kodesh HaKadoshim, that like Rashi, Tosfos that the svara would be that you should pour the blood from the chatos here on the mizbeach, because this is todir. That's why you especially need a pasuk al pesach el moed that you pour the blood here, closer to the pesach el moed. You need a special pasuk for it. So yeah. So so we said here when you're medalic these two is because you have a bias. You have a bias. You want to take care first of the Ner Maravi. But over here, if you have the menorah like this, no problem. You never have a bias. You're always gonna go. You go like this. Eim avirin ala mitzvahs. And you'll always do the first 5 here, and the Ner Maravi is always going to be part. Bingo! It's simple. It's simple. There's no this way, that way, the other way. You're never going to be ma'avir ala mitzvahs. That's it. The din is that ein ma'avirin ala mitzvahs. So that's it. Simple and plain.
What's funny is when I can say this when we come to Pesach, this is the most important. Come to Sukkot, this is the most important. Maybe you notice. When you go to the sheet, the menorah stand this way. Now everything is clear. When you go to the sheet, everything is which ways? What sheet is
Okay.
both right?
You'll remind me. I wanted to tell a moedic story tonight, but we push already went 20 minutes after. Or another time, remind me of a mitzvah story from the Rebbe.
Exactly.
But it's an unbelievable thing that we did this year. Glineda next year will continue from where we're holding. Basically, we're holding Daf Nun Hey. Maybe this week, one night, we'll finish off a little bit. But basically, we're holding Daf Nun Hey. And hopefully next year, like I said, if Mitzvah Mashiach will come, this will become even more relevant. Our stock is going to go up in Beis Menachem Mendel. If Mitzvah Mashiach comes, and the Kohanim are going to need to know what to do. No one's going to know what's going on. Yeah, how do you put the menorah? You go from which direction? What's happening? But we're going to know what's going on.
There's a cheaper for Gehanim to learn that by the.
Right.
They're gonna know.
I should send this book to this Shiur. Let's
Yeah.
see what they're going to do.
That's right.
It's koyach, Rabbi, it's koyach.
By the way, in Shul tonight, the guy began from left to right or right to left, whatever, and he was corrected. He was starting from the wrong direction.
Right. Shmulik told a story that this year Benjamin Netanyahu was at the Koisel Maravi, and he also started the wrong direction. And the rabbi showed him to do it the right way. Rabbi Rabinowitz.
The funny thing is, he's telling me the fact that the question for the picture, they want to see the menorah with him. He does the front of the menorah to the question.
Ah, yeah.
Like
Like here, like the Kohen.
No,
but,
I have no choice. This is the way they stood the menorah.
It's the way the picture works out good. They have to have for the photo op. Okay, there we shall help from the schools that we learned. The Reshimos HaMenorah, we should be zoichet to see the menorah in the base of Mikdash HaShlishi.
No, man, can't hear it outside. Koyach.
In the Crown Heights, the one similar to the menorah in the base of Mikdash.
The one that you have, the public, like,
Yeah.
it's over 10 numbers. How do you make?
No. They make sure to have.
The one in Central Park is the largest one in the world.
Most people,
Yeah, but
I'm
then
sure,
it's
will be
just
out.
like a walk over there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.
Freilich Chanukah, Freilich Zos Chanukah.